Whew. So we're just building up layers or tiers of this. When we get to the earth signs, it's feminine, it's a reflective signs, but not emotional like the Mars and the water signs. It's practical, it's down to earth, it's very tactile, very physical. The Mars and Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn are physical. They like their comforts. They're physically, they'll do things physically. Like, so they might like to hug someone rather than be smothered by someone. The water Mars might want to be overly passionate and obsessive. This is not obsessive, it's practical action. Down to earth action, make something more comfortable, make something nicer, make it better, make it more efficient. So this is about practical ways of using your energy. And the cardinal practical is to Capricorn. It's practical to prepare yourself to be defensive, put up with things until you're disciplined enough to get what you want, to go do it. That's the Capricorn Mars. It's almost a military planet, disciplined Mars. In Taurus, I'm not going to do anything if I don't want to do it. If I want it, I drive for it intensely. I have to get paid well enough for what I do. I have to be liked for what I'm doing. And I have to attract things. If I'm going to do things, I have to attract things for it. So this attitude of, it really ties it into Venus very strongly, but it ties into the rulerships, which we come to next. Okay, so it's the meticulous, determined practicality. This is comfortable, that's not comfortable, but there's a wanting to be healthy and physical, so it's attracted to natural, healthy actions, but it'll become a select few, or just only as much as I like them. It can get very lazy with the Mars and Taurus. As soon as you start getting the grosser elements or the negative factors of Mars, this will go further. But the Mars in Virgo is fussy, it's prudish, it's picky, it's always trying to analyze what it's doing, it's always trying to make it better. And it's reflective, although all of these are reflective, but it's practical. This isn't comfortable, I have to fix this. This isn't nice, I gotta fix this. This isn't being done right, so it's always working to make things better. That's good, but that can get under your skin too. But these are all very down-to-earth, practical uses of Mars. It's not the best place for Mars. It's not the fiery, impulsive Aries and the emotional brooding and determination of Scorpio. Those are the most natural places for Mars to be in, where they can push the power to the nth degree. Here, it's dealt with a little more practically. I got this much energy. I feel like doing this. I don't feel like doing this. It's down to earth, but very tactile, very physical. So it likes to be hugged. Like the touch is more important than the sympathy. And it affects what one does. So those are all the categories leading up to it. Now the categories give you the different layers of how things work. But when you get to the rulerships, you're really seeing the guiding energy. You really start to see how you should guide someone, or what needs to work properly for that Mars to work correctly. And so if Mars is in a Cancer, it's going to be independent, trying to belong a little bit more. It's going to be pushing to have, it's going to be reflective, but cardinal, pushy. So it's going to be reflective, but driving for that reflective, driving for my security. It's going to be tied up to Moon, doing things Mom said, fighting my mom, trying to get a home, trying to make my own kid, trying to have kids, it's pushing to get personal security. And because you're pushing to be secure and you want to be secure about what you're doing, you want to feel good about what you're doing. So you want people to give you that sympathy for what you're doing. And if they don't, they're enemies, and if they do, they're friends. But the Moon, how your lifestyle and your habits make a big difference. So if you start drinking a lot, you have a broken family and you're really sad about it, you're upset about it, you start drinking a lot, you're going to be pushing to try and get back with the family, or just attracting a family of people into similar things where you can sympathize with each other. You can hang out at the country and western bar. But it's Mars, it's pushing for that security and threatened by, and ready to fight anything that threatens that security. And so that Mars in Cancer, how do you get along with your mom? Where are you living? These are the questions you ask someone if you meet them and you watch them. Someone could be an architect or a builder with that because they're trying to build homes or build security. there's so many layers of how you can apply Mars, but you're pointing to it, and it's important to live properly. If you don't have good habits, your bad habits will come and affect the way you use your Mars, especially with the Mars in Cancer. If you have good habits and you're feeling okay, boy, it's easy to do things. But if you're not feeling good, it's almost impossible to get up and go to school or go to work. I don't feel like it. Come to bed. No, I'm watching a movie. I don't feel like going. So this personal encouragement almost needs to be there. Oh, come on, please. We need you. We need you. As soon as it feels needs, it can be seduced into doing things. Okay, so only difficulty with doing a class on the webinar like this, it's harder to get all the interactions and stuff. And in a classroom, there's a bit more reaction. We're working with everybody's charts and talking about it. But I know it works, and just indulge it. Just indulge the associations until you see, oh yeah, you see it. And then you see the ones which will work better than not. That's how you begin to see what someone needs and how you guide their action. For the Mars in Leo, it's ruled by the Sun. That's a very different thing than the sensitive Cancer. It's not about security at all. It's about being best and being winner. And I'm doing things to be glorious, to get attention, to win. And I'm it. So if it's going to get applause, I'll work to be applause. If there's going to be a prize, if there's going to be some victory, or something to gain, something to win, or something to be proud of, I'm going to push for it. And I can be very proud of the things I'm doing, even though I might be oblivious to what everyone else is doing. But that drive to be best in oneself, that's the Mars in Leo, and the rulership is the Sun. Confidence is really important. So doing things that build up the confidence. If you're going to try and help someone be good at sports, you're going to have to use the argument, this will make you better, this will make you the best, this will improve it so you're doing way better and your confidence is above everyone else. So if they can see how they can be winning and get their confidence one little victory at a time, they'll take on almost anything. But they'll stick to that way of wanting to get the attention, wanting to be noticed. They want to do it if nobody's noticing or there's nothing to win. It means the glory, the nobility of the Sun. So the actions to build up confidence, that's the Mars going to the Sun, the Sun rulership. And if it's doing that, and it's building up your confidence, and you're actually doing the things that build up confidence, then you almost deserve the confidence. If it's bound to be a little bit arrogant, but that arrogance doesn't have to be hurting other people. It can be very warm-hearted action, but it can be very arrogant action too, which can make other people competitive with them. So, okay, those are the two primary. If you take the Mercury rulership, there's the masculine and the feminine. The Mercury, ours is in a mercurial sign. You have to act on your ideas. In Gemini, you have all these free ideas. You're going to try and act on so many things. You're going to go out in so many directions. And you may never finish anything, but you may get a whole bunch of experiences. A whole hodgepodge of things you do. It's very diversified, but not really controllable. So it's hard to stay at one job or in one relationship or just do one thing. There's got to be a bunch of things. You've got to be scrambling and running around. You add a little bit of alcohol or drugs to that Mars, anyone, you add a little bit of alcohol and drugs, it impairs the Mars, it impairs the whole package and diminishes how it's working properly. But it's supposed to be an alert, curious person, being independent, doing their own thing, and being a little more mischievous than the other signs. Don't smother me. But it's hard to, so this Mars in Gemini goes to have an experience with someone. They can be making love and sleeping to me. They're still going to want to be talking and thinking about it. And then by the time they finish making love, they're going to want to get up and do other things or replay. They're not going to be just holding steady, possessively, just fixed in the relationship. So that always adds freedom to the relationship, but that may not be what the other partner wants. Hence, there's a little more drama there. The Mercury in Virgo, it's the discriminant Mercury. It's the discriminating, the analytical Mercury. It's always trying to improve and fix things. It's fussy about what it does. It doesn't want to do things and make it worse. It's always trying to fix or improve things. That can be very nice. It's very intimate and passion because this is nice and beautiful. This is better. Oops, that's sorry. Okay, I'll do it better next time. They're always trying to fix it better. But they're still acting on their ideas and informing it, so it's still fussy. And that Virgo element, prudish, comes out on the Mars. So it can't stand to be criticized. When it does things, yet it's very critical of what one is doing oneself. Being critical of your own actions can allow for a lot of self-improvement, so that's not necessarily a bad factor. But if you're wrongly discriminating or not discriminating well, you can be doing things for wrong people or wrong situations, and it'll cause a lot of trouble then. So normally it's a tendency to try and fix and do it best and not be told what to do. That's critical thinking rather than the free thinking of Mercury. This is the feminine, reflective, critical Mercury that's ruling the Mercury. So if Mars is there, it's going to be fussy about what's going to be thinking. I did this, could I do it better? Could I do this? There's going to be an analysis of what one's doing as one's doing it, before one does it, after one does it, and a lot of diversity comes from that. So this is, they're going to seem like high maintenance or doing their own things. This is their own ideas, their own discrimination. It's not about how other people react to them. It's just their own take on it. It's going to affect how they use their energy.